I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. I love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it, I just do it. Like Nike swoosh, none of that Reggie Bush cause I'm top shelf, I ain't got.
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Hey, welcome back. We are back again. As you can see, we're a little bit more chipper this week, okay? Good things are happening. Which we're gonna get to. But in the meantime, welcome back to You Don't Know Jack podcast, where we're gonna be going over everything Colts related, sprinkling some petty. Like I said, not everybody can run for 147 yards like Jonathan Taylor, but it's just like it's a hard standard to live by. But in the meantime, before we go any further, let's go ahead and just introduce the guy. First and foremost, we want to go ahead and get with the guy who has the peaceful house in the background, but apparently it's just like the kids got to get in order. We got with us Josh Senior, everybody.
What's good, everybody? What's good? Welcome back.
And we have with us the silent assassin. I'm telling you, it's Austin. You expose me to new levels of petty almost weekly. When you tell people, it's just like, you know what, that's just dumb. And when you say that, I'm just like, I never thought about it like that. They are just being dumb. But yes, we have with us Austin Cook, everybody.
Yeah, what's up? I'm Austin.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Austin has been very active lately. Me and him, we've been putting a couple guys in their place. So we did.
I see it. I'll be like spectating. I'm just like, you know what? Let me go in, and then I see Austin or I see you on there. I'm just like, you know what? No need. I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to bother at all. So and I'm Chris Jackson, but like I said, that's neither here nor there because you know what? It's been a pretty good week. Okay, it's been a pretty good week. It's just like it's a good time to make sure that buckling in and settling down and making sure that everything's in order, right? I mean, the team is looking pretty good. Only thing that what you need to do, just make sure that your area is clean. And what better way to do that than with Manscaped, right? So make sure, and I know I say this every week, but you know what? I just want to emphasize for those who don't necessarily know, when you go to manscaped.com, doesn't matter what it is that you're buying, whether it's a trimmer, you go buy some underwear, some ball deodorant that Matt Briggs swears by that it's just not going to happen. I mean, any product that you buy on manscaped.com, as long as you're using promo code FANBATTLE, that's all one word and all uppercase. When you use code FANBATTLE at checkout, 20% off and free shipping for the entire order. So this way you'll be able to make sure that you have your order in order, for lack of a better word. But yeah, definitely make sure that you're doing that. So manscaped.com, promo code FANBATTLE. Make sure that you're doing that. But other than that, guys, it's been a hell of a week.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster for sure.
It's been listen, at this point, it's just like roller coaster can't even describe what's going on now. I'm gonna say it's just like this is more like this has been more like a surfing a tidal wave. Like it's just been it's been nuts, man. It's been crazy. You know what? But I mean, but I would be remiss if I didn't go over some sad news. Darius Leonard was set to go on IR. Now they're saying that he's going to be out for the rest of this upcoming season, or for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are the thoughts on Darius Leonard being out?
it's always sad. One of your best players, arguably maybe your best player on the team, a leader on the team goes down. He'll still be a leader. He did have his surgery.
Mhm.
He made a video. He looked like he was drugged up, but he made a video. Uh, Said it was successful. Can't wait to get back to rehab. You just hope that this is gonna solve his back problem because it's just
Yeah,
been lingering all year. And only time will tell whether it will fix it.
yeah. Yeah, what about you, Josh? Because I was just like, it's like I said, it's unfortunate, but it's just like in terms like, is this something that comes off as kind of like scary or concerning, at least for the future now?
It does. It gives me that vibe that it's something scary. Could be long term. Could be lingering for the next couple of years, and he wants to get it right. Not saying that it wasn't
Yeah,
done it wasn't done right the previous time. And it did seem like he was just too hungry to get out there and fight with the guys, even though we got a top four defense in the league, top four, top five
yeah, top four.
defense in the league. He just wanted to play. I mean, a guy been on the sideline like he was a defensive coach, and this was giving the guy joy, giving the guy motivation, giving the guy, some type of extra juice. I mean, and it seemed like he passed the baton over to Zaire Franklin because he's been that guy. Him
Yeah,
and Bobby. Well, it's mainly been Zaire, but mainly Bobby. So it's a big loss, but the team's still top four, top five without him. I don't want to say, hey, we
yeah,
don't need him. We don't need him. I don't never want to say that. We love and need Darius, but I think it's the best for him to get the surgery, get done, and get a head start of 2023 season and be motivated. He's gonna stay watching it. If he's healthy and in the recovery stage, he'll be on the sideline watching the team progress and make plays, and they're gonna be fighting for him.
yeah, yeah, and it's. I'm gonna say it's just like we discussed it before. It's just it really did feel like he did rush back.
Mhm.
It's just like he wanted to be out there, be with the guys. You see him on the sideline, like he's active on the sideline.
Right,
And so, to see to see that this was something that has been lingering and that is now an issue is just like it's tough. But also at the same time, the defense being a top five defense without him in there means that the defense right now can afford to be without it because mind you, this is the same defense that has been able to hold a team like the Chiefs under 17 points. And I mean, usually anything in the teens for the Chiefs means that you're doing something right. Right.
right.
So, it's there's no point in having him out there if he doesn't need to be. Because the thing is, I think what you're worrying about right now is longevity, and then potentially if for some reason you're not or you know for a fact that you want to stay competitive, you're going to do the best you can for the rest of the season, but you're not seeing yourself necessarily going deep in playoffs, then there's no point in doing anything other than having him just really just heal up, rest up, and get back to form. Because I mean, it's just like you rush back from that type of injury again, you're not just shortening your playing span or your playing lifespan, you're shortening your lifespan, period, or your quality of lifespan. Like that type of injury mixed with, let's just say, like a concussion or something, it's just like that could be dire.
I mean, and look at his style. Look at his style as a linebacker.
Yeah,
He need every bit of his back.
yeah,
He
he
need every-
plays. He plays fast. Yes, he plays fast, and that's what he brings to the team. But I mean, it's just like you don't want 50% or 60% of Darius Leonard. You want 100% of him all the time because he's able to disrupt the backfield. He's able to get interceptions. He's able to cover. So you definitely don't want to go and push it and make things. You know, you don't want to make things to the point where it's just like it's bad for what it is that we're trying to do. Like I said, in the future.
Mhm.
Like you said, it's just like you hold on to everybody that you have right now. Next for next year, you have the potential to now be a top three defense or just a number one defense in the league. But everybody has to be healthy. So, like I said, oh wait, hold on. We have a couple comments. Sorry about that. We have Daryl Don Mudge, Jeff Saturday, the GOAT. Okay, all right, we'll go with that. It said Franklin Andy Og says Franklin been a dog, and Andy says we don't need another Luck situation. And there was a lot of people that were making that comparison where they said it's an Andrew Luck situation where he had those injuries and he's just like trying to play through stuff, which we know that Andrew Luck did, and it's just like he ended up retiring in his prime.
I do think his last incident was his fault. I don't think Derek's gonna go out and do some bullshit like that and risk it because I think Luck went skiing or something like that, and he's already hurt. That was
you talk about with the calf injury.
I think he was hurt, but he was recovering. But I think he went skiing, and it was reports didn't come out until after he retired. Like he was was doing stuff that wasn't into his. I would say I won't say contract, but I would say it wasn't in line with his rehab because he was supposed to be rehabbing, and because he didn't play, he didn't do any training camp, he didn't do anything. He was rehabbing, but I think he was skiing that led to further injury, like a setback. From my understanding, I could be wrong, but I think that was I was when he retired in 2019.
Okay. No, I know what you're talking about because so they tried to spin it to say that it was him skiing, but the thing was he went to the same place that Kobe went to get the stem cell infusion treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to spin it like, oh yeah, well he was out there because there's still a good portion of Colts fans that want to spin it a certain way to make it seem like he was out there, doing stuff that he wasn't supposed to be doing, just to make themselves feel better about the fact that he's not playing anymore. Which to me is just like it's the reason why he probably left in the first place because I mean, this comes from the same fan base that booed him when it leaked that he retired. Like it's a crappy way to deal with stuff, but yeah, it was only he was only there because of that stem cell transfusion that they were doing for him because of the issues that he was having with the injuries.
Okay.
So I get what you're saying. So okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. All right, and so moving on. So, of course, the timeline was Jeff Saturday was hired pretty much on that Monday, directly after the blowout loss to the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Saturday's hired, and we have the Raiders coming up. Now, we'll go into the only reason why I'm talking about this now is because leading up to it, there were some people who had some things to say, but we're going to talk about the game first, and then we're going to get into the other stuff. So, in this game, just talking about the game itself, because there was a couple things that happened, but I'm gonna let you kick us off with this, Josh, and just let us know. It's just starting off because I know that one of you or both of you is going to hit the nail on the head as to what I'm possibly thinking because we have that connection. So Josh, go ahead and just let start us off with this game versus the Raiders because this was actually a really good one.
I mean, just like the breaking news that we hired Jeff Saturday as the interim head coach after firing Frank Wright. It was another bomb drop. On the extra game day when they elected to start Matt Ryan. All of us just like, what is this real? Is this happening? Is it confirmed yet? Everybody was checking their Twitter, checking every media outlet to confirm that he's starting. So that was the first thing. So we were like, okay, well, we went from do we want to win to okay, Matt Ryan is starting. Yeah, we're not tanking. We definitely not losing this game. We're gonna win this game with Matt Ryan. And then they said they're gonna bench Matt Pryor and start Will Fries. I think they left right guard. Yeah, because Raymond started left tackle. So that was another. You're like, okay, wow. Jeff Saturday came and made a stamp already after he announced his OC. Parks Frazier. So he was like,
Yeah.
okay, what is really going on? Like, we thinking that, hey, this could be a clown show. Like, what is going on? So immediately, it had an impact. Yeah, we didn't score in the first drive, but you saw Matt Ryan get rid of the ball quick. Dunking it off, throwing it to Paris Campbell, throwing it to Michael Pittman, throwing it to Pierce, which he dropped one. He just throwing it everywhere. Kyler Granson. The offense was flowing good. The runs was positive. Taylor was averaging 6.2 yards a carry in the game with 147. So you felt like everybody is on board with their coach, with their owner. That hey, we don't want to lose game. We want to win. We want to win for Jeff. We want to win for our teammates. And it showed on Sunday. And it showed the tackles. Everybody was playing. Isaiah Rodgers came in and defended Devontae Adams really well for a second-year player. Get Brandon Facyson out of the locker room along with Matt Pryor.
Yes.
That
man is a liability in coverage. He couldn't cover himself with a blanket.
And hey, we saw Kenny Moore. We haven't seen him all year. We saw Kenny Moore making tackles in the backfield. And they all collectively stopped the run, stop Josh Jacobs, who's a definitely good back. It was an all-around great performance. I didn't have any expectations on this game, but since you asked us for our predictions, I had to do it. And we came out. I mean, everybody, the dumbass Titan fans want to say it's just the Raiders. We played the teams in front of us, and we won the game with the coach that was inexperienced. Only experience he had was high school, and he was 3-7. Stuff like that. It was so much controversy surrounding that game to come out with the win. It made everybody feel good. Feel good about Victory Monday. Feel good about being on podcast, speaking in front of others. So I was excited, even without having expectations. So how you guys feel about it?
Well, go ahead, Austin, because the one thing that I did want to make sure, and like I said, I'm going to wait and see if you know what I'm getting at. Some of the things that we've done that we haven't really done in a while. So, Austin, you go ahead. Because, like I said, the game itself actually went really, really smoothly. Like, the offense was good. But what did you see in terms of the team that made you just be like, okay, this isn't like these past games that we've seen over the last 2 to 3 weeks?
Oh, you're saying we scored a touchdown in the first quarter? Or the first half?
Well, I'll let Austin. We're getting closer.
Yeah, so Parks was announced. He was pretty much the OC, calling plays. And he did. Parks was announced. He was pretty much the.
Man, I didn't realize how I sounded. Go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, but he did a great job. It seemed not very complicated. I think they said they made it a little more simple because he hasn't called plays in a game before. Yeah. We went down and we scored in the first quarter for the first time since week 3, like Josh said, on a QB sneak. When you're on the 1 yard line, a QB sneak works.
Yeah.
And like he said, Kenny Moore stepped up. He looked like the Kenny Moore we all know, we all love from the past. Our guys are making plays. On offense, we moved the ball. We haven't had an offense that moved the ball all year pretty much. And that's a big part of Will Fries. I was like, I like Will Fries. Raymond stepped up. He did better from his first game he played. A lot less ball starts and holding penalties. So them two at left tackle and right guard really stepped up and helped Jonathan Taylor. He looked healthy again.
Yeah.
everybody looked good. Paris Campbell looked really good this year, and I'm happy he stayed healthy, so we could actually see what we got in him.
Yes, we got.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We got.
I know, absolutely. And you know what? You both got the first one that I was looking for, which was the scored a touchdown in the first quarter. Because that's something that we just have not been doing because the offense has been utterly anemic in the first half. But also this one was a little bit more specific. But this was the first time this season that Matt Ryan has thrown under 30 passes, but completed 75% or higher of the passes thrown.
Oh, I think it was with 21 of 28.
Yep, 21 for 28, 75 yards, and 222 yards.
And a
So
39-yard run.
He had a 30. Listen, I'm okay.
The scrimmage king.
So the thing is, there's a certain amount of confusion that goes into what was happening on that run, because the biggest thing is that when you see Matt Ryan start to kind of like do things, I'm thinking he's moving up the pocket, maybe stepping into a pass, get a little bit more velocity on it, and then I see him take off, and I have a lot of different emotions going through my mind. The top two are excitement and worry.
Yeah,
Because I know that if Matt Ryan gets hit hard enough, he might just explode into a cloud of dust. He's old. Okay, he's like I don't like. I saw that. I was like,
don't say we are the same age as him. Don't say that.
No. He's older.
I thought he was 37. He's 37, ain't he? Yeah, we the same age.
Yeah,
I ain't old.
older.
I'm young. I'm young.
He's older. Yes, we know. We understand. we get it. But what I'm saying is, he's 37, but he's like 70 in football years.
Yeah, I got you.
Like it's just like he gets hit the wrong way, everything's getting twisted up. He's gonna look like one of Vecna's victims from Stranger Things.
And I guess he wasn't looking to slide. He wanted more yards. If he didn't get tripped up, he said he was looking for the end zone.
He had the slowest juke move I've ever seen. He had the slowest juke move ever. Like literally, it was a step. If Ashton Doolin wasn't there to save him, that would have been the last play of his life.
Like he would have been out of bounds.
He
went up around Ashton
because that's how slow it was. That's how slow it was. That's what I'm saying. It's scary. It's very, very scary because that like his life flashed before my eyes. Like that's how crazy that was. But it was kind of like crazy to see. But I think one of the other things that you guys mentioned was the cornerbacks play, right? Because Gilmore, crazy pass breakup at the end of the game. We saw Kenny Moore contributing in the passing game and in the running game, and then we see Isaiah Rodgers perfectly covered Devontae Adams on that sideline grab. That would have been a grab, but I mean he watched him, and I mean if you leave Brandon Faison on him, that's going to be a first down all day, every day, potentially more, because all Brandon Faison does is follow people and fall. Like he is like he's like a wounded puppy.
Yeah, he made one play in the first quarter, and that was it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see that they had Isaiah Rodgers in for the majority of the defensive snaps after that. That was not a mistake. But before we get into the next portion, where I'm going to just go ahead and just pick you guys' brains, because there was a lot of things that I saw that I know that you guys probably saw too, but I just want to kind of put in perspective. But I just want to go over these comments because apparently, this is what's happening. So you have Josh Allen. He said Jeff Saturday, more like Jeff Victory Monday. Am I right? Yeah. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. They said history was on his side. Most coaches who take over during the season win their first game. Record is like 56-3, something stupid like that. I didn't know that.
That's pretty impressive.
That is a hell of a stat because, I mean, obviously, anybody who's fired, during the season, the next guy who comes in things are going to look a little bit different in terms of the team because, of course, you can't run the same offense, that you ran previously because, I mean, it's not working. So, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was like 56-3. I didn't even know people counted that. But then again, there's a stat for everything, so who knows? And they said the offense seemed more streamlined and less complicated, which, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we'll be getting to that later on also because I know it's like that was another big thing. Cody Blankenship says, let's go Saturdays. Okay, cool. Sounds good to me.
As long as y'all bring some beer.
It says, seems like Reich was all tied up. Good. And wherever he was tied up, he needs to stay there.
Well, he his 1.8 million home was listed today, I think, or other day. So he's out of here. He's not even in India anymore. He's gone. Like he's history.
Well, he's probably moving back to where he's from. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just back off for a little while. Maybe he'll be an OC next year. They said, is Marvin Harrison in the running to be the next OC? Is Pat going to be the next special teams coordinator? Maybe, and I hope so. Maybe, and I hope so. Then again, we
it would be cool to see like old players come back and coach like that. But
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Austin Collie be OC.
I liked Austin Collie.
Or Brandon Stokely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe Dallas Clark, possibly.
Yeah, Dallas Clark. Yeah.
It depends. Honestly, it's just like, I think the big first step for that is like was Reggie Wayne coming back, and then seeing what he had, and then you see the progression with the wide receivers because I mean, you see how guys like Austin Collie and Michael Pittman are, how they benefit from having him around and being able to, really just go and I'm going to say every week it's just like they're learning, they're doing better on routes. They're learning more when it comes to the routes. Like they're contributing now in ways that they weren't before, but that's just because of the fact that they have somebody who's been proven to be a great wide receiver, have great hands and do those things. So, I think it's not lost on me that having former players, come in as coaches is a good thing, but I think, honestly, Marvin Harrison, Pat McAfee, of course. Now, Pat McAfee probably will not ever come back as a coach because I think, and he just said that today on the, I think on the podcast where they brought up an old clip of him and Joe Thomas where they asked him, would he do that? And he was just like, no, absolutely not. Because
he's getting paid a lot of money. I wouldn't come back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's money. It's like how much goes into it. Like, it's a whole lot that would go into that whole entire process of him becoming a coach. So, and then
I do have a question too.
Yeah. Well, actually, let me just
go ahead.
Let's just. It said Matt Ryan runs like a 1982 Toyota Tacoma. Yeah, pretty much. But what was your question, Josh?
Do you think with the with adding Reggie Wayne to the staff help Paris Campbell a lot? Because it looked like he benefited the most. I know he don't have the most. I know he don't have more yards than Pittman and Pierce, but it seemed like he just been every game. It's been him in highlights. Making those type of catches. Run those type of routes where he's just very energetic, and he seemed like he's back to himself, back to Ohio State days, because he hadn't been as happy in a long time.
Well, yeah, because I mean, the thing is, he's been rehabbing a lot when it comes to, when it comes to injury, when it comes to how much he's had to deal with getting back into these games, and in any game that he's in, he is contributing because the thing is, it's just like whether it's running off coverages, basically making sure that you're taking a guy out of a play. He's been doing that. And I'm going to say, yeah, he absolutely has benefited from Reggie Wayne being there because, the one issue that you have with Paris Campbell was the fact that Paris Campbell was a speed guy that was just looking to go ahead and just kind of get those home run plays. But now you have somebody like Reggie Wayne who's telling you how to run a route more effectively, where you can end up going and getting a play like what he had on Sunday, where you're basically receiving, like you're getting the ball, but then as soon as you get the ball, you're able to go and take it for 20 plus yards.
Right.
Like it's not necessarily about trying to catch the home run ball and then potentially hurting yourself by trying to make it a track meet. It's about using your speed effectively and being able to go ahead and making sure that you're getting in and out of cuts properly. So this way, it's just like it's taking it running a route properly makes it so that it cuts down the time that the quarterback has to throw on the ball, so that those timing routes then become much quicker, and then you actually can get the ball much quicker and then end up making those plays. Because I mean, he's been up and down this season in terms of his production, but the thing is, it's just like he's been in games consistently. I think he's only missed one game, and that was in Jacksonville.
Right. Yeah, we had no receivers that game either. We had none.
Exactly. But I mean, but like I said, I mean, if you go back to the Washington game, I mean, he had like 2 receptions for 43 yards, but he had the one run that was for 28 yards, which was a jet sweep. So I
Right.
mean, I think he's showing that he can be versatile, that he can do these things. It's really just a matter of, okay, you know, can he be out there? And this year, it's just like the answer is yes, he can absolutely be out there, and he's been out there. So him using him in this type of capacity, I'm going to say it's just like it's extremely important. Now,
He's-
Now, one thing that I do want to, and this is the conspiracy theorist in me, but Matt Ryan was activated for this game, right?
mhm.
And let me tell you what I went through personally. So I saw in my league that Lamar Jackson was on a bye week this week.
Mhm.
The person after him was Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford was out for the game, and so I picked up John Wolford. And right after I picked up John Wolford, I said, there's no way in hell I'm playing John Wolford as my starting quarterback. So I checked to see who was in there. I picked up Sam Ellinger. I was like, you know what? He may do good. We'll see. They're not going to put too much pressure on him. 15 minutes later, it's announced that Matt Ryan is going to be starting. When I tell you, I was concerned and I was petrified. That's exactly what I was, because Matt Ryan was supposed to be playing. Matt Ryan was supposedly hurt, and then he's just randomly playing now. So seeing what we saw from him in the game and him being activated after Jeff Saturday comes in as a head coach, was there really an injury? And we'll start with you, Austin. Like, what was there? Like, and the thing is, it's just like you don't have to confirm it. We don't have to go through doctors. What do you believe there was really an injury there?
The game, I think it was against the Titans, but the game he got hurt, he did seem like he was hurt. He held his shoulder like it was hurt. I do think he was injured. I don't think it was as bad as they said. Like, people were saying he could be out all season anyways, even though they said he was going to be benched all year. Like, people were saying it might be 4 weeks, it might be the rest of the year. So I don't think he obviously wasn't that hurt, but I do think there was an injury. Whether he could have played the next week or not, I don't know. He probably could have,
Yeah,
because like we never seen him like in like a sling or anything like that. So it wasn't like, obviously wasn't like a terrible injury, but like
yeah,
he probably could have played.
yeah. That's it. That's the reason why I'm just kind of like, it's been so much in terms of like smoke and mirrors and what they put out there. It's really hard to tell what's true and what's not true. But Josh, I need to see where you're at with this. It's just like, was there really an injury there?
No, it wasn't. I don't. Like I said, we all said in the chat room, he was not hurt. They were trying to protect his feelings because he was in the he had an interview after being benched for the rest of the season. He was like, it hurts and it's sad, you know, but he's gonna now turn his attention to mentoring Sam. So I was like, okay, and he was on the field. You know, he was on the field. We didn't see a lot of. I don't think they recorded or show any film of him throwing, but he was on the field helping Sam.
Yeah,
I mean, he could have been
advice. I remember
giving
that
advice. He could have been banged up. But like we all say, he could have played against the Commanders, and I think it was just a way to try to protect Frank Wright, give him some type of see what he can do with the next quarterback. It was kind of odd to me because we all say, okay, why they didn't go with Nick Foles? If they're gonna do that, why didn't go Nick? If they're gonna bench, why would they go to a third string quarterback like Dan was saying? Dan what now? Dan, the guy that be talking shit. Dan
Dakich.
He said they could have won Nick Foles. Why would they go to And it felt like Frank Wright did not know what he was doing because he said that he wasn't. He said Sam wasn't good enough to start, so he deactivated him. And then same thing. He did the same thing with Nick Foles. And then same thing with Matt Ryan. So it seemed like they didn't know what they was doing. And it seemed like Frank was trying to figure out a way to save his job by doing those things, benching Matt Ryan, knowing that Matt Ryan he had a bad game, but it's just like they had to try not to injure his pride because, who wants to say, hey, hey, Matt Ryan, we're going to bench you, man. You suck this year. You're having, 11 interceptions and, 11, how many interceptions? 9 interceptions?
Yeah, I think it's like 9.
9 interceptions, 11 fumbles. You've been sacked 25 times. Just go ahead and sit down. They didn't want to say that to him. They had to find a way to bring it to him, to a 15-year vet. So I don't think he was hurt. The man came out this game slinging it like he did week 1.
Yeah. No, he definitely did. And that's the reason why it was kind of like, this doesn't look like somebody who's recovering from a shoulder injury at 37 years old. Like it didn't seem like it, like, especially with the throws. Now the thing is, it also could be because the offense was just much more simplified. But like I said, we'll go into more of how the offense looked in a second, because I want to talk about this first and foremost. So there was a lot of scrutiny. Like, I don't think anybody said anything positive outside of indie news outlets about the Jeff Saturday hiring. And, it's just like we heard everybody saying something. We heard Bill Cowher said that it was like a disrespect. It's just like, it's embarrassing.
A disgrace.
We heard Joe Thomas say that it's just like what are they doing? There was a lot of people who just like, if they weren't just like middle of the fence, just kind of like, oh, okay, well, it's whatever for that, then they just expressed how much they hated the move. So, it really just was going to come down to, he's going to have to show them in game. Mm-hmm. And honestly, in the game, to me, he didn't disappoint, but it's just like, how did you see it, Josh? Like, how did you see in terms of, how the team looked?
It looked like Jeff's career. It's been gritty. It's been full of fight. Like, guy said that, hey, he don't know how things would be. He might be good at it. He might be bad at it. If he's bad, hey, good luck. See you later. Mm-hmm. But he said he won't back down, and the team showed they wouldn't back down. They showed exactly what Jeff been doing with Indy. You saw what he did with Peyton Manning, telling Peyton Manning, we're gonna call the plays. We need to run the damn ball. And Peyton telling him, no, you just block like you just block. Don't call the plays. He stood up to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is the star of the team. He owns the team damn near. And Jeff Saturday stood up to his ass and telling him, no, we need to run the ball. We on 4 down territory. Run the goddamn ball. So the guy stood up to a guy that's under center for 14 years for us too. And so he shows fight. He brought that. You saw that on the field. He brought the energy. Every player from Darius didn't even play, and he said that it looked different. Paris Campbell, JT said something. Everybody. Other people sad. Nelson was sad about it. Frank Wright leaving because he helped his career, but everybody else was just on board. Everybody else is like, he brought the energy there. The guy brought something that we've been needing for a very long time. He brought the energy. He brought accountability. He brought excitement. That's what a locker room needs. You need the chemistry. You need if you don't have that at all, your locker room, the locker room was lost. Frank lost that locker room. Nobody was playing for him at all.
Yep.
But you can tell the difference. Everybody, there was excitement there. The chemistry was there. The will to want to play. I mean, Buckner had been hurt since week 4, and the guy's still playing and still been effective with one arm.
Yep. And I mean that's what I'm gonna say. It's just like we were kind of looking for, but and like I said, I'm gonna go to Austin because I think the biggest thing was that we saw that first press conference with Jeff Saturday, where he says he's just like, listen, it's just like I could do really bad with this and then say, see you later, or I could do really good and then we'll just see what happens. But one of the things that it's just like he just said, it's just like I'm I know how to lead men. And so, in that game that we saw, did you feel like the leadership was shining through, like that confidence in the team was shining through?
Yeah. I mean,
no, that's for Austin. Yeah. I see he got you confident now. Yeah. Last week we were sad, but I mean this week it's just like, you can write, yes. But go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, everybody seemed motivated. They seem like he brings the passion that we've been lacking. He is a leader. He's been a leader his whole career. And it just really seemed like everybody wanted to win that game. Everybody was playing to win that game. And we haven't seen that much this year out of anybody but our defense at times. He said on the Pat McAfee show that he called out the offensive line and they answered his call. Like they showed up. They actually did their job. And that was the best they've looked all year. So, like, 1 week in, him being coach, he changed his offensive line. And he was a center, obviously. And that's what we, thought maybe he might do. He might help the offensive line a lot. And it showed that he has already done that just 1 week in. Just everybody seemed more motivated and, just passionate about being out there.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say the thing about this team is that we we saw the Matt Ryan run, and I think we all kind of got scared. But Quentin Nelson hasn't looked like himself all season, right? And
right.
I think a testament to the fact that it's just like he's looked sluggish. He hasn't moved. I think a testament to what Jeff Saturday is bringing to this team is the fact that he went from looking sluggish to picking up a would-be fumble that was called dead, and he's trying to truck 3 people while trying to get a first down. And to me, it's just like, the thing that everybody was saying was Jeff Saturday is talking like he's making everybody want to run through a brick wall. And then here you go, Quentin Nelson. He's out here just lowering his shoulder, ready to run through people to go and get and like that in and of itself is just like that's the type of energy that's been lacking this whole entire season. Like honestly, it's just like we came out and then moved to flat. And we've been getting by with 2 things. We've been getting by just barely with the offense and getting by with us being like defensively being really, really good.
Right.
And that's what we've been doing. But back to the offense, because this is another thing that was really, really big. Did the offense benefit from the coaching change?
Let's not say offense. Did JT benefit from it? Because that's what our offense right there. He benefited. He benefited. They said I think he said on. I think Jeff said on the on Pat McAfee show that he said JT needed the ball. When you say need the ball, that means give his ass the ball, and he gave it to him, averaging 6.2 yards a carry. Guy been needing that,
Yep.
The former coach wouldn't do what Jeff Saturday did. He ran the ball even when there was negative plays. I'm going to still run the ball. And the guy, he said he just felt that JT was going to break one. And guess what happened? He did it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, and I think I've probably said it here before, but the one thing that you've seen is that Frank Reich never hesitated to throw the ball. He hesitated to run the ball, but he never hesitated to throw the ball. I mean, Matt Ryan at his age was throwing, I mean, the passing attempts that he had this whole entire season up until his benching, the attempts that he had were 50, 30, 37, 37, 41, 58, and 44 in attempts. That's not even factoring in completions. And in one game, Matt Ryan looked better than he did all season, only got sacked once. And then on top of that,
on a broke down play.
On a broken down play, because I mean, honestly, it's just like people are gonna say, oh, it was on Granson or it was on Raymond. No, it was on I'm gonna say it was on Raymond and it was on Ryan, because Matt Ryan could have easily checked out of that. But the thing is, it's just like he didn't throw to the flat when he had the opportunity. So when he didn't throw to the flat, that meant that he's looking for other plays. But then by then, the guy is getting past Raymond, and that's just what it is. Because the other guy, I think it was Crosby, he came in and then JT executed a perfect cut block.
Well, Crosby the one that sacked him.
Oh no, not okay. So no. Chandler Jones. So Crosby was the one that. So the thing is, Crosby. So JT got the cut block on Crosby, right? Granson was by himself to the out to the right side.
Right.
Instead of throwing it there, Matt Ryan looked in his direction, but then he started looking upfield because there was 3 wide receivers that were in one area. So the problem was that JT did the cut block, and Chandler Jones was coming, but then once Max Crosby recovered from the cut block, that's when he got hit. So that's the reason why I say it's like, yeah, it's partially Raymond, but the thing is, Raymond's going against Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones is still, I'm going to say, one of the best outside linemen that, I mean, probably in the game. So the thing is, it's just like he had a tall order to deal with when it came to, what he had to do in terms of stopping Chandler Jones or even trying to slow him down. But the O-line played better than we've seen them play all season. Right. And not only that, but the thing is also Matt Ryan looked the best that he's looked all season. For him to be able to complete 75% of his passes and have 222 yards, that is that's a way to make it work, right? Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but a lot of those plays also were a lot of those, no more than 15-yard passes.
Oh, it was quick out. Yeah, it was quick.
Yeah, and it was the same thing with Paris Campbell on that touchdown pass that he caught. He literally got the ball, I think, within about 10 to 15 yards, but then he was able to just take it straight up the field for a touchdown. Yeah. So you see, like, it's the philosophy changed, but I'm going to say it's a more positive philosophy now because, we're not trying to get home run plays on every single pass. And I mean, of course, JT got the ball, so it's perfection.
Yes.
And then, like I said, just a bonus that I just wanted to kind of pick you guys' brains about. Seeing what we're seeing now and seeing how Jeff Saturday is or seeing how Parks Frazier and Jeff Saturday are we going to see a resurgence of JT now that Jeff Saturday is coaching and that, Parks Frazier is going to be calling, I'm going to say, a more balanced game now?
I'd like to say yes. But we'll see more about where this team is on Sunday because we're playing a better team than the Eagles. Nothing against the Raiders. They've had a down year. The Eagles have had a great year so far. And people say they haven't played anybody, whatnot. But that is a solid team they have. So we'll see where we are. I mean, JT looked healthy. He hasn't looked healthy in every game this year. He's looked a little slow on some of his cuts and stuff. And I mean, obviously, he's dealing with the ankle injury. That's going to happen. But he looked healthy. And,
the dog happy too.
Yeah, the dog's extremely happy.
But yeah, he looked healthy, and that's what I think should carry over to Sunday.
Well, yeah, because and you know, it's just like, and I think you mentioned it, you guys mentioned it before, where basically he was, you know, Jeff Saturday, he wasn't one of those guys that was just like, oh yeah, we're gonna pass, we're gonna do this. You're just like, listen, we can easily just go and run the ball and get the same type of production, or you know, go ahead and just get those points. One of the things that he said, even in his press conference, was it's just like, you know, we work pretty damn hard to get down the field. We're gonna take the points, you know. So I don't think that he's going to go and say, well, we need to be throwing the ball frequently, even if the run isn't working, because like I said, JT is just like he did run into some roadblocks up front early on, but I mean, once he got going, he got going. So I mean, could
they be contribute to the offensive line not wanting to I mean, people say this, we all say that, you know, the offensive line didn't want to block for, you know, at the time for Matt, and then turn around, Sam got sacked 9 times. It just said they didn't have the motivation. They didn't have it. Frank wasn't giving it. Chris, the O-line coach, wasn't giving it. And it took Jeff Saturday to come in and ignite everybody. It started with JT, you know, from the first run. You think that it was, you know, that's why you said that, that's why it's a tab that it benefited from the change. Because he looked his normal self. Looked like, you know, 2021 Taylor.
Yeah.
And you said that. You said would it look different next week?
Well, no. So the thing is, it's what I was saying as far as like, and what I was expounding on was the offense now, because I mean, you know, what have we seen all this year for Jonathan Taylor when it comes to rushing, right? It's just like we haven't seen anything special dialed up. It's literally just like it's single back run up the middle, it's shotgun run up the middle. It's like it's a delay, but we know it's going to be a run up the middle. They were dialing up outside zones. They're dialing up inside zones. You know, they're dialing up plays where it's just like he does have places that he can choose from to go into different pockets and then potentially go and just like maybe and break for a run. That's the one thing about Jonathan Taylor. It's just like if you give him even a slither of opportunity, then he's going to be able to just make something shake. But the problem is, if you're not giving him that opportunity, then he's not going to happen. Frank Reich, it seemed like it's just like he just wanted to have, you know, Jonathan Taylor just go ahead and get his couple runs just so that he'd be able to go ahead and start passing again. And I mean, and we saw that because the thing is, it's just like it's inexcusable that in a game where you go and you have Jonathan Taylor, where you can't draw up some new, fresh run plays possibly, that you're throwing the ball 58 times. Like, I mean, with Josh Allen, that makes sense. With Matt Ryan, that makes absolutely no sense. So, you know, I think it's just like this team is it's a little bit different now, and I think the offensive philosophy is different, but I'm going to say moving away from just the on-field stuff. You get a win. You get a hard-fought win on the road. I mean, it's just like it's basically like you get a really, really rough and tumble win after a crazy week. Do you think after this win, Jeff has won over that locker room?
I think he won it before the game. I think he won it with the moves made to get back to Matt Ryan. He won it when the press conference. He won it with, you know, naming the OC. Is 30 years old. He won it just what he brought to the team. Like you said, he said that day one that he know how to lead men. He's been around been around for 14 years, 13 with Indy, and been in the playoffs 12 years out of 14. Been a Pro Bowl for 6 years. I mean, he's all pro. I mean, the guy know how to be in. He know how to coach. Well, I didn't say coach. He know how to lead men. Being a coach now is part of his new title. So they already won over. He's a guys like to be coached. Players like to be coached by a guy that understands them. That played it. Yeah, Frank Wright did, but Frank been retired. Years, decades ago.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like Jeff Saturday just been retired 2-3 years ago. It felt like he can still go out there and block. But he knows he's been a consultant. He's been paid consultant. He's been around. He's been having input. So those guys love that. So he wanted the week before the game. He wanted days before the game. Does it help? Yes, going forward, because they know what to expect from him. They know that he's going to lead them in the right direction. So yeah, I feel like it was before the game, but it should carry over to the last 7 games of the season.
Yeah, and then what about you, Austin? Because there were some people who just ultimately just were not, they didn't like. It's not. I don't think that they didn't like Jeff. I just think they didn't like the move. So it's just like do you feel like now it's just like there's guys looking at him now like, okay, he's actually gonna put us in a good position.
Yeah. Everybody has their own opinion on everything, so I'm sure not everybody was on board with it at first, but it really feels like I mentioned earlier, everybody seemed motivated. He seemed to bring a lot to the team because he is a leader. I would say he won over the locker room. All the players that I've seen say anything after the game have all been good things about Jeff. And I know they wouldn't dog him or nothing, but I've just seen good things. So yeah, I would say he definitely has won over the locker room, especially after this win, and how passionate he was and how he wants to be there because he's been in their shoes before.
Yeah. And I think one of the things about it is that the experience that he has makes for, I'm going to say, a better cushion when it comes to kind of getting guys to buy into it. Because, Jeff Saturday is no slouch. He was regarded as like one of the best, if not the best center in the league during his whole entire, or I'm going to say during the majority of his career when he played. And so, it's just like, I think having that type of resume and, coming in and then also coming in was saying, it's just like, look, I care about this team. I want this team to win. I want this team to succeed. And then you come in holding people accountable. And it's not necessarily like you're bashing anybody, but just holding the team accountable. Like Frank Reich every week is just like, we need to be better. We need to be better. But the thing is, it's just like, what are you doing to make this team better? And that's where things get ridiculous because of the fact that it's just like you're giving blanket statements with no solutions attached to it. So how exactly do you plan on having this team get better if you seem like you don't have a plan to do so? But now it's just like he's going in there and he's saying, listen, this O-line unit has not been playing well. So here's what we're going to do. Rather than having you guys, wait on complicated routes, we're just going to dink and dunk people. We're going to do quick slants, going to do curls, going to do quick outs. That's what we're going to be doing. Like that. That's where it's going to be. Because honestly, that's what it came down to when it came to when it came down to the passing game. If you look at the numbers, Paris Campbell had the most. Kylan Granson had second most. Pittman had the third most. But the thing is, Paris Campbell went 7 for 76. Kylan Granson went 4 for 57. Michael Pittman Jr. went 7 for 53. Like, people were getting involved in the passing game, which is a great thing. But the thing is, it's also that you're taking those short yards and then you're mixing it with runs. For JT to have 22 for 147, you're averaging about 6.7 yards per carry. That's almost 7 yards per carry. How's that for efficiency? It takes some running backs 38 carries just to get to 147.
Or 19 carries to get to 53 yards.
That too.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's 19. And I'm sorry, Josh. I gotta. It's 19 for 57. Okay, they got 3 yards per carry. They got 3 yards per carry. They got less than half of what JT got. But that's neither here nor there.
Matt Ryan had a better run average than the dude.
What are you saying, Austin?
Titans fans, they say that yards per carry doesn't even matter. They just don't understand simple math. Like if you have 3 yards per carry, you're not efficient. You have 7 yards per carry, you're getting a first down every 2 plays.
Correct.
Yes.
How does that not matter?
Because go ahead.
No, go ahead.
They only say that because it's not a stat that they like, because their running back is not. He can do that. He can. I mean, I've seen him. I've seen him for years. He can do that. It's just the fact that he just everybody is honing in on him. They say this all the time. It don't matter because of this right here, but they say, okay, Pittman only having how many catches? I mean, what's his yards? What's his yards per play? Was it yards per play? What is
his yards per play on Sunday were 7.5. So basically, he's averaging. So basically, he was averaging around. He was averaging a first down every catch and a half.
I think, but on average, on a season, I think it's like 11 or whatever. It said it ain't really much. They'll take Burks because he was like 12 or something like that. I'm like, so they changed it. They moved the narrative when it's someone else having a better stat line than our player. Being that JT has a better average the last 2 years. Oh, they don't matter because he's not rushing for 250 yards. He's not having, he wasn't all. He never had a 2,000 rushing season. It's going to be the narrative that their goalposts is going to get wider and wider.
Oh yeah,
because that's what they do. That's what they do. They're never gonna. You remember when they started with the QBR back in 2019 when Ryan Tannehill started. He had like a 1.0 something QBR. When we got Carson Wentz and his QBR was better. Oh, now they want to minimize that. Why the QBR matters now? So it's you're talking to guys that don't like to be behind us in anything. So anytime we're having a better record or have a player that's doing better, like JT play better than Derrick Henry, and Michael Pittman had a better season than AJ. They try to minimize it. Well, you guys have made the playoffs. Oh, we swept you. It's always something. Anytime you say that somebody has a better season, they always try to minimize that and say that, oh, it don't matter. The only thing that matters is wins and losses, and you guys are behind us. So that's what you see, Austin. That's what I learned when you're talking and debating with a fan like that hates everything about us, even us as fans. They'll try to move every narrative so they can say, hey, we're better than y'all. You say, hey, we won Sunday against we won Sunday. If we win Sunday against the Eagles and they lose Thursday, guess what they're gonna say? We swept y'all the last 2 years.
Yeah. What's interesting? I stopped engaging in these types of mental Olympics with Titans fans when I realized that they were trying to race me in like a 400-meter freestyle, but they didn't know how to swim. Like it's bad because of the fact that they will say that yards per carry don't matter, but then they will bring up a stat like I can't remember who it was. They'll bring up a stat like EPA, and I'll ask them, I'm like, before you go any further, what is EPA? And then they'll post a picture because they can't explain what it is. Because at the end of the day, Titans fans don't know football. Titans fans know their team based on one person, and that's what they do. Like for me, I've actively chosen to make sure that I don't get into stats with them because they can't argue stats. They can't argue the fact that yes, Derrick Henry is going to put up fantastic numbers. But the thing is, he has to put up fantastic numbers because when it comes to those wide receivers, it's not going to be good for you. It's going to be bad. You can you they can and I'm going to say this with all honesty, it doesn't matter how our season ends. We could win out for the rest of the season. We could lose out for the rest of the season. If you want to go and you want to rest your head on the fact that you win division, that is fantastic. Because no matter what, at the end of the day, you're not going anywhere when it comes to playoffs because deep down they know that that team is not a playoff team. That team is good enough to win this division, which is an absolute crapshoot right now. Every team has something absolutely insane going on with it. And we like if I'm gonna say they want to call themselves the Kings. They're kings of dirt. Because right now it's just like nobody's really lighting the world on fire. So if your claim to fame is that you're doing well right now, then that's fantastic. But when you go on prime time and you get blown out by 34, that doesn't help your case. And that's what your starting crew. You can't you like there's no sugarcoating that. If you're going and you're putting up these numbers, that's fantastic. But the thing is, you're barely winning against teams that have losing records. And then when you face a team that has a winning record, you crap the bed.
Even with the Packers have a losing record, they're not talking about them because they got beat 40 to 14 the last time they stepped in Lambeau. And that's why they're not. That's not why they're talking trash. They're talking about, well, the Eagles gonna be mad when y'all play them. Okay,
that's fantastic.
Okay,
that sounds great. But the thing is, the Eagles have 8 weeks. Matter of fact, no, they have 9 weeks of film to study, and then they have one sampling based on what you have. Mind you, Jeff Saturday is an analyst. So that means that he has to watch film anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He has to watch teams play and he has to watch what they're doing and he has to see what they're doing. The Eagles have been the hottest team in the league damn near all season, even coming into last night. So you're going to watch the Eagles a little bit more just to try to dissect what they're doing. That then becomes an advantage because of the fact that now you have somebody who's been able to watch this team, sit back and watch this team and say, okay, this is what they're doing. As a matter of fact, with you being able to watch them from an unbiased viewpoint, you can say one thing I did notice that they do is that they do 1, 2, and 3 on this particular formation in these particular plays. So, I mean, it kind of gives you a heads up. It gives you an advantage. So, I mean, you could say that the Eagles are going to come back mad, but at the same time, I don't think that you're going to be able to justify that they're going to be able to just go ahead, they're going to be angry. So you better expect to lose 44-7. No, I don't think that's how that's going to be. But you know what? We'll talk a little bit more about that upcoming game because we're about to be out of here soon, guys. Yeah, I lied in the beginning. We're well past an hour, but okay. So we have the first one. It said with Matt Ryan, it makes no sense. With Matty Ice, it makes sense. Just depends on which one shows up. Yeah, I believe it. I mean, I don't see why not. And then it said Jeff seems like a dude you could have beer with after the game. Absolutely. I mean, honestly, Jeff seems like the type of guy that would go and bring the beer after a game. Like you just got finished coaching, and then he brings in a case of something spectacular. So yeah, let's go with that. Then we have friend of the show, Darius. He says, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. Them Titans fans a little special. You got to excuse them. Yeah, we know. We know. It's just like generally people from Tennessee, people they could be cool. People from Tennessee who are Titans fans, I'm usually a little bit worried for them. It's just like they have to deal with there's a lot of factors. It's a terrible school system, inbreeding, mayonnaise addiction. Like what do you like there's not a lot going on there that's actually really like helpful. But we're glad that you were able to buck the trend off Austin because like I said, if you were a Titans fan, I don't know you'd probably, it's
I
just
mean,
like
he's a Vols fan though, but we're gonna leave that for another show.
well, I mean, the Vols beat Bama, so I mean,
we're not talking about that.
we don't talk about Bama. No
That's old news. Why
more.
you bringing up old stuff, man? Why you bringing up old stuff? That happened weeks ago.
I mean, yeah, but it's still kind of prevalent. But either way, hey man, listen, Hendon Hooker season is upon us. But moving on, Eagles versus Colts. So this is a very pivotal game. I want to say this could be a game defining or a season defining game because I mean you're going against a team that is just coming off of their first loss, but they're still number one in power rankings. I mean, how do you go about getting ready for this team that seems like, I mean, that they're pretty sound in all three phases? And I'll start with Josh.
I mean, you guys know how I feel. I'm worried. Some fact because I mean, not because they lost. It's just the fact that they're stacked. Their defense is stacked. They added Robert Quinn, who had 18 and a half sacks last year. I'm not happy about that. Our line did good against Chandler and Max Crosby, but I mean, man, look at that guys they got on their side. And they got a dope secondary and Darius Slay and Bradbury. I mean, and the guy from the Saints. What's his name? I don't know. His last name was Johnson. Gardner or something like that.
Oh, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, they got him too. I mean, they got three good guys back there that can defend. I know Terry had a good game, but I mean, whew, man, we got some youngsters on offense gonna have to step up, man, and make plays. But the offense, man, we got to stop. I don't know the status of AJ right now. I know he twisted his ankle. I'm not sure if he's gonna play. I'm not wishing that he don't play. I want him to play. So I want her to hear that. Hey, the only reason you lost because they didn't have AJ.
Yeah.
And you got to stop the running back. You got to stop the quarterback as a running back as well. I mean, he can scramble at any time and bust a 20-yard on you. That's hard to stop being down with Kwity Paye. I know Dayo, Kenny Bo can step up, but man, we already down Ty Lue. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect, man. I don't know what Gus can dial up to minimize that offense. Keep it a close game. And on our end, we're gonna have to score points. There's no kicking field goals. We're gonna have to score points because they can put points up and get down the field and put points up pretty quick. So we're gonna have to minimize. If I had to do a prediction, I got us losing by 2 scores.
Okay. What about you, Austin?
Yeah, so obviously the Eagles are a good team. We're going to see where we really are after this crazy weekend. On offense, if our O-line can block and give Matt Ryan a little bit of time, we've seen he can still throw the ball and open up some gaps for JT. I think we'll be okay on offense if the offensive line does their job again. On defense, if we keep Hurts in the pocket, we can force some turnovers, and forcing turnovers leads to leads to wins as long as you protect the ball on offense. So just keep Hurts in the pocket, make him throw the ball, and offensive line does their job. I think we can definitely win this game. I'm going to say 38-34 us.
Okay. And it's crazy because I can see the approach being very similar based on what you saw in Washington. I mean, they played they played a lot of heavy zones because they knew exactly where they were going to be going. But I mean, really, it was a more so about pressure, like pressuring Jalen Hurts, trying to making sure that you're getting to him. And then if you're getting to him efficiently, then I mean, you're not going to be able to score. Of course, it's just like that offense is really good. They're going to be able to score. That O line is holding up, but I think it's just like it's going to be like that war in the trenches. Like Buckner and Stewart are going to be facing they're going to have a day where they're just going to have to really get going. I think honestly, they can keep the momentum going. I'm gonna say it's just like I can actually see them winning. I can see them winning this game 31-28. And I'm gonna say it's just like the very last score will be on a game winning drive.
I mean, I like. I'm never going to be against you guys for having the confidence, and you guys know I have high confidence. It's just that I just feel bad, but it is the first home game. Jeff coaching it. Crowd's going to be in it. The players going to be juiced up. Anything could happen, huh?
I'll be there.
I quit bragging about it, man. Don't brag about it, man. I forgot about that. I forgot about it, man. You're gonna have a good time, man. I can see it. You're gonna have a good time.
I think I'm gonna wear my Shaq jersey.
Okay, yeah, represent. Man, I want to change my prediction. I got time.
No. Matter of fact, no. You keep you keep it. No. You keep it. You keep that same energy, sir. All right, you make sure that you keep that same exact energy. All right. And so, with that being said, people, that is it for tonight. We will be back next week for a special Thanksgiving episode where we will be doing nothing related to Thanksgiving. But it just so happens that Thanksgiving is that week, so whatever. But yes, so in the meantime, people, guys, tell the people where they can find you on social media.
On Twitter at CookieAustin2.
All right. And what about you, Josh?
You can find me on Twitter at I am Josh Senior. Find me Facebook, Josh Senior. That's pretty much it.
All right. And you can find me at CJ Colts Fan. Also, please make sure that you are following us on Twitter at YDKJAC Podcast, at YDK Basketball, and at YDKJAC Baseball. And like I said, just make sure that you are following us for all news updates, special news about giveaways. I think we need to do a giveaway soon. How do you guys feel about that?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
We got the holidays coming. Why not?
Yeah. I would say 12 days of Christmas, but I don't know about all that. But but like I said, we'll be discussing some things. So we'll have a giveaway coming soon. But yeah, make sure that you're following us everywhere. We'll be back next week. Remember, we're on every week, Tuesday, 9:00 p.m. Eastern time. Other than that, have a great rest of your weekend, people, and thank you for tuning in.